My name is Bobby.
And I'm Veronica.
And we are the Browns.
We'd like to welcome you to another episode of
Breaking Bread with the Browns.
So, as many of you know, last week everybody was preparing for Valentine's Day, and I challenged you to do something special for your spouse each day leading up to Valentine's Day. Well, now Valentine's Day has come and gone.
Bye-bye.
So, first, let me backtrack. He did good. He took us away, right?
I did good.
Just for, a little weekend getaway, which is awesome. We'll talk about that later. But now that Valentine's Day is gone, what now?
Back to life. Back to reality.
So, we were like, what do we have like our topics and stuff outlined, but after we came home, we were kind of like, back to the norm, like back to the day-to-day. So what we're going to kind of cover today is after Valentine's Day, what now? We do special things. We have special intimate moments. How do you keep that flame or fire alive? Or do you let it dwindle and just...
Keep it, the word kindle. Like, how do you be consistent with that? Anytime a flame begin to go out, you got to continue to add wood, or
oxygen.
fuel, whatever, oxygen. I like the oxygen.
Yeah.
You need different elements that cause the fire to keep going. So what's going to be the elements that's going to keep that fire or flame consistent? Because remember, you still got 364 days left.
So we come home. Of course, we left the kids, right? Come home.
Did you leave the kids out your mind?
I did.
Oh, she did. Okay.
Did you?
Oh, for
He
sure.
was ready. He was like, I'm ready to get back. My babies.
Oh.
You were. But we come home, the kids are in our bed, right?
Yeah.
It's dirty dishes in the sink.
Then I becomes the enemy because I'm like, hey, start getting stuff in order.
Pizza boxes, right? The things that they know they should do, they did not do. The dog got into the garbage. It's like garbage all in the front sitting room as soon as we hit the door. So immediately...
Now, let's be real. They not here by themselves now. People thinking like...
Yeah, no.
They have a sitter.
They had a sitter.
Yeah. Granddaddy.
But
and older cousin, but they just...
So you come home, right? Because we came home early. They were still asleep. But it's just like you're back to the day-to-day, right? So Bobby is back in daddy mode. What are y'all doing? And it's like the tension, everything.
You got mail
Just
for bills, mail, stuff, got to get stuff in order.
Yeah, we got to pay the bills.
Job.
It's time to go to work. I have to leave. Like, it's just a lot of different things. So we were business. Yeah. So we were like, we do not want to lose.
That quick though. But the thing is,
just walking through the door.
Just that quick within an hour, it's like, man.
Oh.
And we had to stop and be like, all right, look, we got to humble and reflect and don't lose what we just did in the last 2 days.
So that is what we talked about. Like, what are we going to do different to make sure we try to maintain that level, like the high that we were on just being away, which we probably, if you have kids,
it ain't gonna happen.
You limit. It is.
It can happen. I'm not talking about on that level because there's other people still around in the house and then just us two. But I think what happens is it's easy to allow things to become a distraction if you let it. You can let things that come in the mail, the children or the dog or whoever and whatever be a distraction if you let it. Nothing can happen unless you allow it to.
Yes.
And I think that's the thing that quick as we get home, the quickest reality is that we cannot get distracted, that we can't focus on what needs to be done because it's still there. You can't change reality, but you got to still hold on to it because it was special.
It was. And then, but I guess too, one key takeaway, because of course we have our 3 key takeaways, it's gonna kind of go back to some things that we already talked about. Consistency.
That's
you
right.
want to make sure that you're staying consistent. But really, like I told Bobby, for me, I feel like it goes back to discipline.
Yes.
Because those things that are creeping in, like, okay, we know we have to pay the bills, the things that the kids should have done. So, backtracking, we knew, well, he knew that we were going away, right? But even before that, we knew it was things that we needed to do. We should have made sure that all of those things were done, or even putting it in, getting in a rhythm.
Yeah.
Right? Getting in a rhythm.
A system.
Yeah. Setting up systems. So I'm reading this book, which is awesome, called Atomic Habits. And that is kind of what he talks about. Basically, it's easy, like we can build a habit, or you can set a goal, right? We can say, okay, we want to maintain this level of intimacy, or just focusing on each other, zoning out. However, it's one thing to say, hey, I want to get to the mountaintop, but okay, how are you getting there? What is your plan? What systems are you putting in place? And I think that was the most powerful thing. So for us, we are going to seek to put systems in place to make sure that we don't get distracted.
Or get off course.
Right.
And also just not the flame and physically, but also emotionally and spiritually. That is the most important, because what happens is just that quick recognize that everything go around you, because you can't change what's happening. You must learn how to be proactive other than reactive. And I think that's the thing, is that we are learning. I've learned as I get older, and you hear no excuses, but there ain't. You just got to be plan properly and be proactive before things occur. But then when things does happen, if you're spiritually, emotionally connected, that will outweigh whatever's going on, and which we are. But it's just amazing how you can see you come back into home. It's like, okay, we don't want to lose this last couple of days, but how do we entangle that into the everyday life?
And I do think that even like leaving away, because we are firm believers, like the Lord, everything, nothing is coincidental. So like us leaving and coming back, it's like this was for a reason. Like this is something that we need to deal with and make sure that we are putting the right systems in place, because we shouldn't come home and feel like that, right?
Yeah.
So when we don't have different systems in place just to get the regular everyday things done, right? Even making sure the kids are disciplined and doing what they need to do, not us doing it for them, but
or have to go behind them.
Right. So that this kind of just showed us some areas where we need to tighten up. So if you
even us have to tighten up, because I think in the midst of that is the word of accountability.
Yeah.
We have to be accountable for each other, for the goals or whatever's in place that we're going to do in them systems, that make sure that systems keep things flowing. Because it is like a monster. You got to keep going. You got to keep being productive. A machine. And with that machine, you have to oil it. You have to do the proper maintenance that we can keep things in the flow.
So one, discipline. But how do you become disciplined? You need to establish systems or routines. So I don't like repetitive things, right? Bobby is good. He does that. And I know though.
Okay.
I'm saying, I know that is what I need, right? But I don't like it. So I do feel like, God he knows what you need. Where for him, he is regimented. For me, like I can't keep eating the same thing. I just can't keep doing the same thing. Like I don't like that. I need something different. However, putting systems in place, you need that, right? You need a regimen. You need a system. And that's like goes to what he says about accountability. If I was just by myself, or God knew what I needed, right?
Yeah. In
him to hold me accountable. Because me, if I do something for 2 days in a row, I'm about done by the third day. And that's not good. But I'm just how my brain works. That I need things to flow differently. But having a spouse or having a partner that can hold you accountable to whatever, in love, but you guys need to get together. What are you going to do? So some things that we said we know we could have done, we need a set date to pay the bills, right? We need to make sure, we need to reevaluate the children's chores and not, not get frustrated and complete them for them, because they should be in a system or in a rhythm to complete it themselves.
That's right.
Right? And then 3, accountability. Making sure we're holding each other accountable once we get the systems in place. So that's something that we're going to be working on this week, right? Just starting out with just general evaluating our day-to-day life and seeing what systems we can put in place or what things we need to put in place, so that when different things arise, we're not like thrown off.
And see, that's the thing about when they deal with things in life. I really believe the enemy knows that he can distract you so quick based upon what seems to be so normal. Mm-hmm. And then when you get caught up in what's normal, then when a real issue comes, you can't handle it.
Right.
And that's why we need to stay together. And so having this weekend was great for those that celebrated Valentine's Day. Beautiful. But that's why I say every day should be Valentine. Every day should be a day that he has made. We're going to rejoice and be glad in it. So we're going to rejoice together. We're going to come together and believe in what God has given us as a blessing. Put things in order, structure, foundation, and stand on that rock. It's just that simple, because faith without works is what?
Yeah.
And the key thing is, sometimes you think that because of your age or where you should think you should be, but you got to learn everything's working together for your good. So you can't get discouraged if you're trying to compare or look around. Just look to the hills will come with your help and keep pushing.
Yeah, and just consistently, not saying like we don't have systems, but you can always get better.
Yeah.
Right? And that's one of our family mottos, making the Brown family better.
What did Brown say?
Do better tomorrow. I love it.
Do tomorrow.
When he had the little bag, I tell the kids that all the time. No, be better. That purse. Be better tomorrow. Like, okay, today didn't go good. We got to be better tomorrow.
And look at the Lakers right now. They're balling. And I think that's the thing about life. You just got to be encouraged that if I didn't accomplish today, there's a better hope tomorrow. Because as long as you're alive, there's hope.
There's hope. So, after Valentine's Day, now what? Keep the flame kindled. See what you need to do. Yeah. See what you need to do.
Oxygen.
Take a look at your relationship. Take a look at your daily life, right? Is it organized? Is it structured? What things could you implement? Yeah, what things can you perfect, or in what areas can you implement a system to lower the stress level, to make things more consistent? Talk to your spouse. You guys can just, for a week, take time out and just look at your schedule, look at what happened, which we do that sometimes. That's what helps us get back on track, because we know that we need to be waking up praying together in the morning, right? We know we need to be reading our word. But if
we need to be going to the gym,
we do know we need to, so that's a jab at me.
I ain't no jab. I'm just everything.
So Bobby is faithful at the gym. Your girl, I'm trying.
I'm faithful too.
Yes, yes. But that is true. We'll sit down sometimes and okay, we have a teenager, so it might have been a little issue with the teen. Kids got a project up, so we are up super late. We had to go to rehearsal for this or that, so then we end up sleeping in. But again, those are the times when we're really like, okay, what could we have done better? Yes. Like, how could we have rearranged our day to make it a less stressful situation for us and the kids? And when you don't do that and it's stress, it's bringing tension.
Because you're looking at each other, and somehow, and it's just naturally, you don't blame no one, but there is some kind of blame aspect that comes in it, because the enemy is a manipulator, and he's about divide and conquer. And so, and even from the children's standpoint, because it began to come down to them. So it's important that y'all learn how to be consistent together and just learn from the mistake, because it's not a book given to us of perfect parenting or perfect of anything, but learning how to grow and get better. Right.
And just remember, take that time to break away, right? And to reevaluate. Go through your day, go through your week, see where you can implement systems or ways that you can get better, because the lower the stress level, the more you all will be able to communicate, to be on one accord. And then guess what? That's going to trickle down throughout the whole house.
And one word to sum all that up is called peace. Peace be still. The peace that you get of your home, of the environment, from you having that thing in place, gives you more confidence. And the more peace you have, the more you will settle, and more other things can grow. Period.
So Tonight we've talked about what are you going to do after Valentine's Day. We came home, it was a little chaotic, which made us take a step back to reevaluate and see where we could implement new systems to gain more consistency to reduce our stress level, so that we can make sure we're keeping our connection close and we're able to keep that flame kindled between us. So I challenge you this week to sit down with your spouse, evaluate your schedule, just take a look at your day-to-day and see if there are ways that you can implement systems to make your family better. So thanks for tuning in tonight. Don't forget to check us out on YouTube, Instagram, and Facebook. And break bread.
Break bread.